Welcome back. Okay, today we're jumping right into episode 006 of our Explainer series, focusing on the parent stage, sacrificing for the lovable, grounded in Luke 6:32. Now, if you remember, we recently crossed a huge watershed moment in our emotional and spiritual growth, the adult stage. That's where being united with the Lord means grace is no longer this problem we wrestle with, right? It's just a reality we live in. But today? Well, we're stepping into something much heavier. This is the profound transition into the parent stage of emotional maturity. We're talking about stage 6 in our broader journey. And here's the core reality you need to know. Grace is about to start demanding a lot more from us. It's no longer just about what we're receiving or experiencing. It's entirely about what we are willing to pour out.
So, right out of the gate, we're hit with this heavy question. Who am I actually willing to sacrifice for? Because look, unlike those earlier phases of our spiritual journey, this specific stage confronts us with the very real, very tangible cost of our devotion to other people. Early on, we're focused on our own healing, our own grounding, figuring out how to be loved. But as we step into this parent stage, the spotlight swings completely outward. We have to face the gritty reality that true maturity requires sacrifice. And we have to be brutally honest and ask, who exactly is getting the benefit of that sacrifice?
All right, that brings us to our first section, the parent stage, and the concept of giving life.
To really grasp where we are right now, we kind of need to map out the journey. We start as infants, right? Entirely dependent, just learning that grace is given to us completely for free. Then we grow into adults, where grace becomes our living, breathing reality. We get stable. And finally, we arrive here at the parent stage. This is the 6th stage of overall emotional maturity in our framework. We are literally shifting from a mindset of just trying to stabilize our own life to actually becoming a source of life for someone else. And you really can't skip steps here. The entire strength of the parent stage relies completely on the foundation you built in those infant and adult stages.
And here's what's so fascinating about this. The parent stage is really the very first time we stop just handing out advice and start giving life itself. It's not about just tossing someone a book or dropping some profound knowledge on them or, handing them some useful tools and then walking away. No, it is about walking with people through the hard places until they can actually walk alone. It means looking at someone and saying, hey, just by being with me, your life has a chance to grow. You aren't walking the path for them, but you're absolutely steadfastly walking alongside them. It's deeply beautiful, but man, it is a highly demanding stage of life.
Which leads us nicely into the next section, the true cost of grace, where we start to feel a brand new weight.
Let's contrast this for a second. Think about our past. As infants, we get grace for absolutely free, and as adults, we just live in its daily reality. But something fundamentally shifts for a parent. In this stage, you actually have to bear the heavy cost of grace. You have to pay a price for others. We're talking about sacrificing your time, your energy, your comfort, and let's be honest, sometimes your own emotional bandwidths just for the sake of another person's growth. Suddenly, grace has a real weight to it. Now, it's a beautiful weight for sure, but it is heavy nonetheless, and it requires a genuine willingness from us to pay that price.
So let's explore this hidden condition in our third section, only for the lovable. We need to define exactly what we mean here because it's absolutely vital. We might be totally willing to sacrifice and bear that weight, but is it only for the lovable? Now, when we say lovable, we aren't talking about someone who's just cute or charming. Actually, a lovable person is someone who makes my sacrifice feel meaningful. They respond well, they grow, they say thank you. They make all our intense, grueling efforts actually feel worth it. Essentially, they're giving us an emotional return on our investment. And sure, we gladly sacrifice for these people because their positive response basically fuels our continued giving. It makes us feel like, hey, I'm a really good, effective parent.
But this exposes a really uncomfortable truth. What happens when that response just disappears? What happens when that so-called lovable person disappoints us, or pushes back, or maybe our immense effort seems entirely fruitless? Are we still willing to pay the price? You see, this is the ultimate test of the parent stage. When your emotional return on investment drops to zero, does your grace just evaporate? If we're completely honest with ourselves, we usually find that our willingness to sacrifice hits a sudden, very hard brick wall the second that other person stops being lovable.
And this brings us right to our 4th section, the invitation in Luke, which acts as a profound mirror for the heart.
I want you to just let the weight of this verse settle for a second. Luke 6:32. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. Wow. This acts as such a huge, paradigm-shifting invitation for us to realize that our current conditional sacrifice, loving the lovable, is really just a starting point. It's not the finish line. And look, this isn't meant to scare us or make us feel guilty about our limits. Not at all. Instead, it's an invitation to see that while our current grace is very real, there is a much, much deeper well of complete grace just waiting for us to discover.
Let's clarify this distinction because it's a real game changer. Sacrificing for the lovable is a beautiful display of true grace. That is a genuine, real achievement of the parent stage. But complete grace? That's waiting for us deeper down. Complete grace is where love simply doesn't discriminate based on the response. Complete grace looks at someone and says, I'm going to pay the price for you, whether you validate me or not, whether you succeed or fail, whether you appreciate it or literally ignore it. And guys, that is the massive transition from the parent stage toward the final stage of maturity.
So, let's talk about what to do with all of this in Section 5, your next step, and observing the heart.
As we get ready to eventually move toward that final stage of maturity, the elder stage, we actually have a specific, practical assignment for you. Getting this stuff conceptually is great, sure, but applying it, that's where the real magic happens. So your task this week is simply to honestly observe. Just look at your own limits when you are pouring into other people. When you catch yourself asking, is my sacrifice really worth it? Just notice that feeling. Don't try to fix it. Actually, scratch that. Don't even try to force yourself to feel differently. Just observe it. Then, the absolutely crucial next step, go find a friend. Share this realization with them. Ask them, hey, do you ever find yourself only willing to sacrifice for those who respond well? This journey isn't meant to be walked alone, you know? By sharing this, you're literally practicing Matthew 18:20, where 2 or 3 gather at the Lord is present. Community is exactly where this kind of growth solidifies.
I'm going to leave you with this final, incredibly provocative question hanging in the air. Who am I serving? Someone who cares about me or someone who doesn't? I want to challenge you to really carry this question with you over the next few days. Keep observing your true motivations. Pay attention to who gets your patience and who gets your frustration. It's an honest, deeply revealing question, and it's going to naturally guide you as you continue this incredible journey from the parent stage to the profound depths of complete grace. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep observing your heart out there, and I will see you next time as we start looking toward the elder stage.